Hello everyone, Seraphin here, welcome back for more Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. When I last left you guys, we just started the level proper because we did a lot of preparations and whatnot last time. Sorry about that. But let's go ahead and get started right with combat here. First thing we're doing is sending our newly minted Wyvern Lady, Jill, up here to deal with some other guys that have lances. Silly them, they haven't learned to use the wonderful awesomeness that is axes just yet. Speaking of wonderful axes, we've got Boyd here to contend with all these various lance people. And I don't see any reason to not send in Ike and all his newfound awesomeness. That being his new promoted class and his epic ether skill that will absolutely make mincemeat out of everything. I don't foresee this level being an issue. It's going to go pretty quick. This one doesn't really have a lot to do. You just mow through some guys, grab a couple treasure chests, and you leave. Nothing to it, really, so I don't foresee this being anywhere near as big of a deal as the last time. Suffice it to say. And we can actually go ahead and use... Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Racin really at all. So, Racin has an ability called Canto. And now this is different from... Well, I guess you haven't seen either Canto in other games yet, but Canto in the other games is often what people refer to the ability of horse units to be able to move again after they attack or do anything else. In this game, Canto specifically is... It's a dance. Like, it literally allows you to dance for someone, or I guess... kind of the same thing that Nils did, is you sing them a song and they get to move again. Pretty awesome. So we not only do we get a dancer finally, we get a flying dancer, which is awesome, and also he restores HP to people that are next to him at the start of the turn, which is pretty darn cool. You'll see, because he's a Heron, however, he doesn't have really anything in the way of combat abilities. He cannot fight at all. He's reasonably fast. 14 speed's not awful, but it's not great either. When he transforms, it gets a lot better. How much he heals based on that blessing skill is determined by his magic stat. 10 magic's alright. I believe when he transforms he gets more. His res is absolutely stellar, however. He can take a magical hit no problem, and he's got lots of luck, but he is absolutely paper thin when it comes to non-magical attacks, so best to keep him out of the way for the most part, and because he is a flyer, that means he is vulnerable to bows. So we definitely want to keep him away from enemy archers at all costs. A stray arrow will end him very quickly, and there's not a lot you can do about it. But I find that's generally not an issue. He tends to stay back plenty far enough to avoid getting picked off by anybody. Speaking of getting picked off, we're going to go ahead and ruin this Soldier's Day with exact damage from an L-Thunder. We're hoping to get Ilyana into promotion tier. And as you can hear, actually I'm not sure if you can hear it all well now, but the battle music has changed now. And it will remain thusly for the rest of the game. As soon as Ike gets promoted, the music changes. I'm not sure why. I mean, I guess it makes sense if you're going to have a... Wow, that's a pretty great level up for her. Would have preferred speed too, but... from now on, we have different battle music, not only during the player phase, but also during the enemy phase. So you'll hear that momentarily as soon as I end my turn here. Probably should have put Astrid a little closer to that ramp so she could get in a better position, but... hindsight is 20/20, as they say. And we're actually going to have Marcia come over and help out Jill. I don't think Jill's going to need the help per se, but, you know, just in case things get hairy over here. Wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of backup. Here we come with the Halberdiers. Oh, he's got a... Probably should have checked to make sure what he had, but he's got a short spear. But he's not hitting Boyd. Even if he did hit Boyd, it probably wouldn't do a whole lot. And oh, there's archers here too, of course, but he's not in range of anything yet. Surprised they're not going for Ilyana, actually. She's a little bit squishier of a target. And they probably have an easier time hitting her, given that Boyd has weapon triangle advantage on these schmucks, but I'm not a DN military strategist, so I don't know what they're planning. My guess is they're planning to be stupid, because that's what they've been doing so far. Alright, here comes the Wyverns. Not all of them are getting in range, however. I don't think they can get in range. Let's see how Jill handles a steel axe. So far, so good. Needs a little bit more strength, unfortunately. But Wyverns are pretty hardy targets as it is anyway, so really not all that surprising. We'll work on that. Alright, let's see if we can... You know what I'm going to do, actually? I think I'll soften this guy up a little bit for Jill to have an easy kill. And then we can let the other guy come attack her again. Probably could have just used my short spear, but you can always forge more javelins. That's pretty much what this Rampaya is anyway, so... Alright, let's get Marsha out of the way, because I want Jill to have the XP here. And we'll just... Oh, I don't want to huck a hand axe, though. You know what? That guy's got a javelin. We'll huck a hand axe anyway. I'm going to kill the guy with 9 health. And then we'll be able to soften up the javelin guy a little easier this way. Not a bad strategy, if you ask me. But then again, I'm not exactly the most efficient strategist when it comes to this game. I mean, I'm decent. I've beaten all these games that I've played, with the exception of one. There is one English Fire Emblem I have not completed to fruition, and that is Fates: The Revelation Path. Because, well, Revelation is pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. In fact, I don't think I'm alone in that distinction there. I think there's a lot of people who are not terribly fond of Fates, particularly the Revelation path. Maybe the Birthright. Birthright is definitely the easier path to go with, but it's also like the newbie-friendly one, and the story's just not good. Everybody, it's just not. It's not an awful game by any means. If you're trying to get into the Fire Emblem series, Fates isn't the worst place to start. I would argue that something like Sacred Stones or Awakening would be better. Maybe even Blazing Sword, honestly, because that's where I get started, but those ones are a little more... Oh, look at that. Strength, skill, and speed. Nice. The most noob-friendly ones are the ones that basically give you the ability to grind indefinitely. And Birthright does that, Revelation does that, Awakening does that, and Sacred Stones does that. To my knowledge, those are the only ones that do. I guess an argument could be made that Echoes, Shadows of Valentia does as well. I don't really know that that's 100% the case. I've beaten that one, and I don't remember that... I mean, you can grind, sure, but you can't really do it against things of your own level, really. If that makes any sense. It's really difficult to do anyway. And I know for a fact you cannot grind indefinitely in 3 houses. You can grind a fair bit, especially in the later chapters, or on even a New Game Plus, it's really easy. And you can grind to get to a point where you're just unkillable, but you can't do it indefinitely. And I wouldn't necessarily call 3 Houses a noob-friendly game, strictly because there's a lot of really difficult mechanics that, if you're not used to them already, can be really upsetting. So there is that, I suppose. We want to get a little Soren. Soren's still 19. Why don't we give him a kill on this archer here? Okay, I was going to say, with regular wind he doubles, but not with L-wind. Interesting. So he's 1 point of speed shy. Because he still hasn't gotten any strength, so that L-wind, and the regular wind for that matter, weighs him down still. Which is irritating to say the least, but there's not a whole heck of a lot we can do about it. Soren's strength growth, I think, is like 5%. It's really bad. But he did just get a rank up for his wind magic, which I think puts him at, what, B? Yep. So he can use the Tornado Tome. Or not Tornado, the Blizzard Tome. Tornado, I think, is A rank, which I don't even think we have yet. Come to think of it, I think the boss from this level actually drops the Tornado Tome. I can probably go confirm that real quick, but I'm going to wait until we get there because, well, reasons. I don't know why I just danced for Soren. I really needed to dance for Mist instead. That was kind of silly. Alright, well, whatever. That's what happens when you're not paying attention, folks. Alright, let's let Ike get a kill on this warrior so we can see him in action. I don't know for 100% that he will actually kill this guy. Only because, even though he's got a lot of strength now, it might still not be enough because warriors are pretty bulky, as we've no doubt seen before. Probably could be moving in the whole bulk of my dudes here, but Boyd's not quite far. You know what? We're just gonna leave everybody where they are and let Ike take care of this. Looks like an enemy sage right in the middle there. I think there's gonna end up being more wyverns to deal with too, if I'm not mistaken. And that is another dead wyvern. We are going to be seeing far more wyverns than previously now. For obvious reasons, we are now in Dane, and that's just kind of their thing. Probably should... No, maybe not. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud now. Oh, crit with the hand axe. Brilliant. Still not quite enough to one-round him, but almost. That'll make him an easy target in a second here, when I can just pick him off and be done with him. I don't think Jill can throw that axe over this wall, which is disappointing to say the least, but... There we go, we get Soren back to full health thanks to Racing. This warrior didn't move, I just realized, so let's rock right in and take him out, shall we? That is a bolting sage. Interesting. Alright, let's take a look at Ike. And oh, look at that. He would have one-rounded this guy anyway. So here is Lord Ike. He just walks up and smacks people. And I love that he holds swords in one hand now. Well, I mean, he did before, I guess, but it doesn't matter how big the sword is, he'll hold it in one hand, because it's kind of a hearkening to just how freaking strong he's getting because of all of the work he's been putting in. I guess that's kind of the gist of it. We're actually going to send Rolf to grab that treasure chest. Make sure he's out of range of this bolting sage before we do that. Okay, assuming the sage doesn't move, he might. I don't actually know for 100% sure, but I don't think he does. Go ahead, and I actually gave a chest key to Rolf. I gave one to Ike too, but he's already moving ahead, so we're going to let Rolf snag this chest real quick. I could have brought Soth and opened them for free, but quite frankly, I didn't want to. Recover staff, good. I think Mist can use that now. Astrid's got enough resistance, she should be fine taking a hit, even if it is from bolting. Right, and we'll just move in all of our chuckleheads here. Like I said, this isn't going to take super long, especially if I move everybody in and just kind of gang up on these guys as they come through. They're going to send Raven Lagoos at me at some point, but they're not overly threatening. We're going to bring Marcia back up here, but we're going to have Jill take out the Wyvern. And I believe more of them will end up spawning over this direction. We'll have to double check and make sure, but... Alright, Jill, do your thing, girl. A little unnecessary her having to, you know, fly up really high and then dive bomb back down every single time. But what do I know? I mean, it looks cool. Don't get me wrong. Level up for Jill. Strength, please. Alright, I guess I'll take skill and speed. Luck is alright. HP she can always have more of. I'm not going to be too upset about that. And going for Kieran with the bolting. I know his res isn't great. Oh, he missed. Well, look at that. Get better, Grub. I guess, I don't know. Astrid cannot quite reach this guy, but she could if we dance for her. Why don't we go ahead and do that? It's so nice to finally have a freaking dancer. No, and I guess normally you get them about midway through most of the games, except for in Secret Stones we got one really early. We got Tethys, like, what, chapter 10? We don't even need her super bow. We can just use her regular iron bow and take this guy down. That will be cool. She's turning out alright. I'm looking pretty positively at Astrid right now. Which is not something I normally say, let's just put it that way. It's going to be a level up for her. If she ends up being better than Kieran, I might just dump Kieran and keep her, honestly. Skill, luck, defense, res, not bad. Her speed's already almost capped, so I'm not upset about her not getting that right now. Would have preferred some more strength, but yeah, so you can see there's really not that many guys left. This is a pretty quick chapter, and again, I'm not upset about that really at all. Nice to have a quick one every once in a while. Probably should have left one of my Cavaliers back here to rescue Rolf, but that's alright. My Cavaliers are kind of getting ahead of me here, which tends to happen. I every once in a while I'll kind of overextend myself and it doesn't end up working out super great. But I think Kieran and Oscar will be fine. It's just a matter of getting the rest of the crew back to catch up with them, which, as you can see, my mages are not really up to the task because they're not promoted yet, and they're still really slow. Not slow per se, I mean, they're not really super fast either. Soren's pretty fast, he's got like, what, 18 speed? Maybe? I'm actually not sure. 18 speed. He's effectively only got 17 though with this wind tone. Silly Soren not ranking up his strength yet. You'd think it would have happened by now, like even 1 point you'd think should have happened by now, but it still hasn't. And there are the aforementioned ravens, which Rayson is calling out. They betray all Lagoos. Those jerks. And now we have transformed Rayson, who is even better. And I will... Holy crap, he got a lot faster, a lot more magic, a lot more resistance. One more point of defense, though. Yeah, again, he's still paper thin. So we gotta still be careful with Rayson, but... I'm gonna go out on a limb and say probably can't kill this Armor Knight. Not quite. And he's got a Knight Killer. So we really don't want to be anywhere near him with mounted guys. Unless I can just kind of range him. I didn't give a ranged weapon to Kieran, that was an oversight. How did I forget about that? That's really silly of me. Well, we'll throw some hand axes at him and see if Astrid can finish him off. With her Zephyr Bow. I don't want to slow down my pacing too much, because again, I want to clear this out pretty quick. Oh, and there's Shinon too, I forgot about him. He has 7 movement. So I don't want to leave anybody in range of him. Which means I'm going to have to pick up Astrid once we're done here, otherwise she's going to get shot at by a guy with a Brave Bow, which does not sound all that pleasant. Oh, goodbye, Mr. Night Killer. It's nice knowing you, I guess. Not really, I mean, we didn't really talk much. Another Night Killer, alright, so yeah, Shinon is just in range. How much damage does he do with that? 19. And she's got 9, so she would take 20. She would survive. This guy's a Blizzard Tome. She's also in range of that, go figure. So we're gonna go ahead and get her out of the way. I don't think she can I can't rescue her. Uh-oh, this is bad. This is very bad. I think I'm just gonna park Kieran in front here. That way Shinon can't get to Astrid, because then I'm blocking his path. And actually, they're more likely to go for Kieran because he doesn't have a melee, or doesn't have a distance weapon. We might be okay here. Let's see. Can Jill throw an axe over this wall? No, she cannot. That is a bummer. I'm actually surprised that Blizzard Mage didn't attack her last turn. I wonder why he did not do that. That is strange. Anyway, I guess we'll worry about the details some other time. Let's go ahead and move on here. Ilyana is not in range to besiege anyone with her magic just yet. Not that I necessarily want to waste my Bolting Tome, but it's nice to have in a pinch. Oh, I meant to show it. Okay, so Rayson is even better right now that he is transformed. Not just because of his stats, but because of what he can do now that he is transformed. And that is, he doesn't just dance for one person, he dances for everybody that are right next to him when he is transformed. And that means he can potentially dance for up to 4 people in a single turn, and that is absolutely incredible. So, old Game Boy Advance style dancers, eat your heart out, folks, because we've got the best dancer of all time right here. And it is very much cool. We're going to move Jill out of the way just in case that Blizzard guy does decide to go for her. Because that'll be super effective Blizzard damage, and her res is not spectacular. 7. 7's not great, let's put it that way. Marsha's the one missing. Marsha has much better resistance, but I still wouldn't want her taking a hit from that. Oh, and there's a bishop. I thought that guy was just a cleric. He is, in fact, a bishop. Ow. Well, thankfully, I don't think Shinon is going to do a whole lot to Kieran when he shoots at him. In fact, I don't think he really does much at all. You might not even hurt him. My arrows will find you no matter where you run. Yeah, you say that. Well, you can't even hit Kieran, so that's actually good, because that means he's not wasting uses of that Brave Bow. Which is good, because when I get it, I'd like to have as most uses possible. Oh, here we go. There comes the Blizzard. So using Kieran as a meat shield, not a bad strategy, apparently, although he's taking quite a beating from all this magic. Magic is not fun for Kieran. And here we have Ravens coming in. They haven't transformed yet, though. Now I need to get Rolf down to Shinon as quick as possible. I don't know if that'll be possible on this turn or not. It might be. I'm not going to hold out hope for that, but let's go ahead and arrange my mages so that they have a chance to move. Who do I bolting? I could take out this general. You know what? That sounds like a great idea. Let's do that. I know it uses up my bolting tome, but rather just not deal with him right now. I can still fix it. I'll get a hammer and staff at some point. I can fix the bolting tome. Although it's kind of a crappy use of the hammer and staff to repair a 5-use bolting tome. Let's go ahead and refresh for all of these folks. I think Rolf can just get to where Shinon is. Barely, maybe. Not quite. Okay, if I push him, we'll be fine. Alright, let's take out the bishop. I'll use Astrid for that. Just enough. A little more than just enough, but enough that I don't have to worry about it. So, recruiting Shinon isn't actually super simple. I mean, it is, but it's not a simple walk up and talk to him and now he'll join you again, and we'll see that momentarily. But exactly what I mean by that. That is a bishop down. That is, what, level 18 Astrid, I think? Yep. So she's getting close promoting. Strength, skill, and luck, not bad. Her defenses still leave a little to be desired, but I think that will work itself out shortly. Move her up. We're not really concerned about her getting hit or anything. What we need to do here... Perfect. Alright, what we're going to do... let's get Neffany out of the way first so we can shove Rolf. We're going to shove Rolf with his brother, because why not? So now we have Rolf go talk to Shinon here. You actually look like an archer. Well, I mean, he kind of looked like an archer the whole time, but I guess Shinon wasn't around for that. If you train the right way, you'll surpass both your brothers. Well... So, this is where we find out that the reason that Rolf knows how to fire a bow is because Shinon actually taught him. And Shinon, to his credit, is actually an incredibly good archer. Are you with the enemy? Yep. And Rolf doesn't like that very much. I told you things like this happen. Did you forget? I mean, it's not fair. He's kind of cold about it. Like, you're talking to a little kid, man. Come on. Time for pupil to face his master. Yeah, okay. Good luck with that. So, as you can see, we don't actually get Shinon just from talking to him, but talking to Shinon with Rolf is necessary for recruiting him. And now what we do... we don't talk to him with Ike. I know this seems really crazy. We actually need to kill Shinon with Ike to recruit him. Again, I know it doesn't make any sense, but trust me. So you take out Shinon with Ike, and Ike's like, "Don't move. I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just trying to non-lethal you to death." So Shinon actually does go down for the map, but he is not dead. And now, normally, if you attack him with Ike before you talk to him with Rolf, you will actually straight up just kill him. And he's just dead. But, because we talked to him with Rolf first, he is not actually dead, and we will get to recruit him next turn. Or next mission, I should say. It's one of the more convoluted ways of recruiting somebody, and in fact, I don't really think there's an example of that in any other games that I've played. It is kind of a neat mechanic, though. It's like, he doesn't respect Ike because he just thinks that Ike is pathetic and weak and a child and whatnot, so the only way to actually get him on your side is to prove that Ike is better than him by kicking his butt, and that's exactly what Ike just did. He just kicked the ever-loving crap out of him. We're going to go ahead and let Oscar deal with this silly Blizzard Mage because I've just about had it with long-range magic right now. Which is really sad because this is far from the last instance of long-range magic we'll be seeing in this game, unfortunately, but better to deal with it as little as possible, in my opinion. That's going to be a level up for Mr. Oscar. Strength and defense, perfect. I'm not upset about that whatsoever. And then we could move Kieran in and deal with the Lance Soldier up here. Don't see any reason not to do that. And then we have our mages that we danced for who still really can't get close enough, unfortunately. But it is what it is, I suppose. And our flyers are just kind of hanging out doing nothing because they don't have anything to shoot at. Oh, again with the Blizzard... Excuse me, not Blizzard, but Bishop. A lot of magic guys. I guess really not that many, it's just a couple of sages and a couple of bishops, but... Well, the boss has magic too, I forgot. But he's bringing himself to us, which is perfect, because he needs to be dead. Okay, Kieran doesn't even one-round a soldier. Even with the steel axe he wouldn't have. Man, you need some strength, buddy. I don't normally have this issue with him. Here comes... Oh, there comes those ravens again. Ah, okay, so we have enemies appearing from behind us, but not in the form that I was expecting. That's alright, we'll just send our flyers to contend with them. No, I thought I gave Marcia the Night Killer. I did not do that. That's alright, we don't need it. Alright, we'll have Astrid take out another bishop. Since that seems to be her speciality at this point. Pew! Pew! Pew-pewing all the bishops. Now these are promoted enemies too, so she should get a reasonable chunk of XP. That's level 19 for Astrid. If I can manage to get one more kill for her, it should be level 20. Luck, defense, resistance, alright. Yeah, she's not turning out too bad. I'm actually pretty impressed. Alright, now... let's let Kieran finish off the guy he was trying to kill before. And then I'll park him in that hallway to deal with the upcoming soldiers. Again, if he can start getting strength from his level ups, he might be salvageable, but if he's going to be having this hard of a time killing people, I'm going to question whether or not he's going to be worth it long term. Those guys all have swords. You probably should have a lance equipped, and I think I can address that. I put him here. I could let Oscar deal with the boss, but I kind of want to let somebody else do it. And we're going to use Rolf to open this treasure chest. Silent Staff, eh? I think I can get Neffing in range to take him down if I just give her a shove. Yep, and as long as she doesn't miss... actually... Huh. She can't crit, so that's cool. Could let Ilyana just bolting him and kill him. Oh, she doesn't even do... Oh, she's got triangle disadvantage because wind beats thunder. That is true. Almost forgot about that. Let's go ahead and trade over Kieran to a lance, and I'll see what I can do to this chucklehead. Yikes. Okay, I'm having a hard time hitting him, let alone killing him at this point. That is an issue. Why don't we go ahead with the slightly easier to hit with lance as opposed to an axe. Ah, he has a tornado tome. I knew it. What did he just proc? Did he have Nihil or Parity or something? I didn't check. Probably should have done that before I engaged him. So it is possible that bosses will have skills going forward. Usually nothing serious, but it's possible. So it's best to give that a double check before you dive right into anything. Nihil, yeah, so he negates my skills whenever I engage in combat with him. I don't think it's going to matter too heavily much. As long as I can land these javelin hits, he's going to be in a bad way. 62, those aren't fantastic odds, but... Thankfully, he doesn't actually kill anybody that's up that direction, even if he hits them. That's one hit. Come on, Neffany, you can do it. I actually really like the Tornado Tome. It sounds really cool. Oh, dang it. Alright, well, we might have an issue. Let's see. Let's see if I can bolting him. You know what? I'm going to give it a try. Just for the kicks and grins. It'd be great. I don't need the bolting tome really going forward, so... Come on, hit. No! Crap. Alright, well, bolting tome is gone. Worth a shot, I guess. It served its purpose. Mostly. Except for that last time where I missed, but, you know, it happens. If I put Boyd here, I think Rayson is just in range to do another dance. Yep, look at that. Perfect. And the bird sings to people, because that's what he does. Interesting. Move Boyd up here. I might need to pop a physics staff on somebody. Who can I heal from here? I think Oscar's going to need it more, because Nephine's not in range of those other Cavaliers, but Oscar is. Let's go ahead and heal up Oscar. Now, hopefully this guy... Well, this guy's going to go for Kieran, there's no question, because Kieran does not have a ranged weapon, and he also has the lowest resistance.